Alright, what's up everybody, and welcome to our very first match here in PiGFest 4. In the top left side, we've got Team Liquid's Clem, the young Terran player looking monstrous lately, coming fresh off of a carnival day where we actually had him playing Archon mode versus 3 of the best Protoss players in the world. So he's going to be in very good form and prepared for this player down here in the bottom right side. We've got Creator, a fantastic player who has been very solid in the defensive style. I mean, he is just a guy who likes to just defend, block all of your moves, and if you overextend once or twice, a little bit too much, he will counterattack and get across that map and take you out. You could just check the audio levels for me, Dot. I'd really appreciate that. Just making sure, as we've changed some production things recently, that the audio is all good here at the very start of the tournament. Make sure we get those tech issues out early, but I don't foresee too many of them. Creator blocking the command center nicely, but not a very big delay, only about 1 or 2 seconds at most. Obviously, Reaper is going to be coming out behind that second depot. Very standard opening for Clem. And he is even SCV scouting, which is how you'd expect him to play against a guy like Creator. Creator's not a big risk taker. Creator is the sort of player who is going to play pretty straight up. You don't usually have to worry about him opening up game 1, building a gateway in your natural or something crazy like that. That being said, that does look like it could potentially be a proxy third gateway probe, right? Reaper's coming forwards across this map right now. Pylon already building there. Yeah, this looks like a 3-gate. Not a build Creator uses that much, but MaxPax has found a lot of success with this build. MaxPax, one of Clem's big nemesis. I mean, him and Clem play so many big series in the ESL EU weekly. And look at that. The Adept moves out, guys. That Reaper is hiding in the shadows. Nexus doesn't have a lot of vision until it's done building. Clem's being a bit of a sneaky cat right now. And does it? Oh, it still doesn't see it there, even when it's finished. Second and third gateway on the way. That Adept, if it shades away, it'd be really bad for Creator, but look at this. But, oh, he's checking for it. Oh, the Adept sees it, and Clem gets out of there. Bunker is ready on the other side of the map. Does get the command center up. If you don't realize what's happening, this could be very rough for you as Clem. There's no ledge, though. There's no wall off on the ledge, which means he should be able to get in that base. And if he sees the second gateway, that'll give him warning to pull his SCVs to the high ground. Very important. Yeah, he sees that gateway, sees the Twilight Council as well, and gets out of there, which means these Adepts can't necessarily go across the map. Now, the Adept did get inside the base. 1 SCV for 1 Adept, not too bad. Doesn't look like it killed the SCV building the Starport either. So no real delays. And knowing what's up. Oh, he's going to build a bunker at his mineral. Oh, that's cute. I was wondering. Normally, people like to get a siege tank in this scenario. Clem with a very different approach. His Reaper does go down. He's scouting around with the Hellion, looking for this gateway. He's like, hey, where is it? And he finds it. He's going to go after that probe. Should be able to take that down, but, oh, it's risky. You don't want to lose the Hellion, mate. Second bunker in the mineral line. This is actually so smart, because protecting the mineral line is the hardest part of this entire situation. And it finishes at the exact right second. Wow, that is really well done. I would like him to put 2 more Marines in that, because I think the bunker at the front probably doesn't need as much. He, though, is wary that there could be a Stalker warp in and a bust behind this. Great defense so far. Tanks coming out. Raven as well. Clem's playing a very good game of StarCraft, and Creator not being able to disguise his push is the issue. There were some big memes the other day during our show match between the Protoss boys saying, hey, if the Reaper scouts you, if you don't kill the Reaper, it scouts, maybe it kills a probe, you lose the game. But if you can kill the Reaper and block the scout, then you win. And I kind of asked Clem about it jokingly, hoping for a humorous response. And he said, you know, that kind of is how PvT works sometimes. The Reaper's a pretty big investment, but if it does its job and sees what the Protoss is up to, it's hard for them to pull any sneaky stuff on you. That's what's happened here. That being said, Creator got a reasonably timed third base behind it. His blink will still be done soon. So I don't think he's committed as hard as he could have, right? If he warped in 3 rounds of units on the front, went ham, this would be a very different game. Clem now going to sell that bunker there. He's got 2 more barracks, an engineering bay in the back, and he's adding those gases on the natural. I like that Clem's being patient. A lot of players make the mistake of moving out to try to kill this gateway, and until you've got stim, combat shields, that sort of stuff, that's not going to go too well. Raven is hiding behind the third base. We're ready to come in behind the natural for some auto turret harass, but Creator's pretty well spread. An Adept there. His Stalkers are now moving forward. He's got this big Adept spready, doesn't he, guys? 4 Adepts across the middle of the map. 1 Adept chilling in the natural. Charge is on the way, as well as a Robo and a Forge behind this. Almost dead even workers, though, and that's always going to be good for the Terran player. Oh, Ooh, Adept barely survives on a single hit point there up against that Raven. Raven throws another auto turret down. Nicely done. Gets 2 more probes and a bit of mining time. Not too bad. I think if Clem would have preferred a few more probe kills rather than damaging the Adept, of course, but I think he's happy with where things are. Raven will not get hunted down. Stim's on the way. Shields is on the way. Third command center starting quite early as well, so that takes the pressure off Clem really having to commit super hard to his push. Probably means he misses a few Marines and Marauders in production here because you can't really keep up non-stop SCVs and Marines and Marauders and build a third this early. And it looks like SCVs are actually what he's cutting. So he's saying, you know what? I could oversaturate this, but I'm still going to prioritize getting the big army, go for the big push. I'll add the SCVs once I start to spare a little bit of money and as that third base is kind of floating down there. Not a bad way to do it. Keeps a sort of in-between balance between being aggressive and expanding. Raven just got F2'd by the looks of it. Got to be careful with that, mate. Sentries gathering up. It's an Immortal Sentry charge army. This is an army that doesn't scale particularly well, so I've definitely got eyes on when does the Robo Bay go down. And, well, as I say it, there we go. Robo Bay starts at 7 minutes. Means about 10 minutes in this game is when Creator's going to have a couple of Colossus, the range upgrade maybe kicking in, that sort of stuff. But right now, he's only on 3 gas, and he's not taking more just yet, and that worries me because unless you're doing nothing but building Zealots, where are you going to get the gas for your Colossi? Like, he's got 9 Blink Stalkers, but it's a fragile situation to be in because if you lose a few Stalkers to a drop or in an army fight, you have to spend a lot of gas rebuilding those Stalkers. That's where you do end up a bit starved. So he takes the gases on the third base. Clem moving out with a very large army. It's a big mixture of biomine. Good Stalker control on focus firing the Marines, but losing one of the Stalkers was unfortunate. Units lost tab in the top left shows us that it has been very good for Terran so far. About to get a little bit better as he clears up this map control. Now, this is a rather predictable move, and yet Clem, a greedy rally on the natural, caught off guard by this early Prism. A little bit uncharacteristic. This is such a standard move from Protoss, and yet Clem didn't have any units in reserve there. He does catch the Stalkers on the front, though. Uh-oh, slow response by Creator. He loses one of them. Don't want to lose these SCVs in the main base. This feels like a great trade right now for Creator, guys. This feels like a fantastic trade for him. Ooh. Oh, man, he's taking out a lot of SCVs. Apologies, guys. Looks like we didn't host this in the Observer++, so we don't have those pop-ups on screen, but that's all right. That'll be fixed in the next one. Marine Marauder coming forwards. Dude, that was a lot of SCVs killed. He's got to defend, though, and that is so tough. Force fields are good, but he needs to capitalize on it first. Colossus has just popped out. Raven comes in from the rear. Even drops an auto turret on top of that. But can he actually get damage done in the meantime? Clem gets a few of the Zealots, but he's very clumped up. If that Colossus starts landing hits, it could be massive. Clem lost 15 SCVs in that last fight, and that was a big problem back at home. He does feel the pressure to do damage here. Battery overcharge heals up these units a little bit, but as he goes to the third base, he could definitely cause problems for the Protoss. Probes being pulled into the fight. Zealots coming in. The Colossus gets focused down by the tanks. The Bio clean through the probes. They take out the sentries. That Immortal does take out 2 siege tanks, but it can't get away from the concussive shell, and it looks like Clem just has a little bit too much stuff right now. Rolling over that Colossus, microing back very nicely. I just think the early game was too bad. The 3-gate did not find any damage. That bunker in the mineral line finishing on just the second the Adepts traded in was pretty much picture-perfect timing for Clem. And Creator needed a near-perfect follow-up to be able to get that one back. Well played by Clem. All right. Clem with a nice, crisp game 1. But now going into enemy territory. Remember, Clem won the coin toss, so that last map was on the central US server, slightly better for his ping, and it was his map pick. But now we're on Creator's map pick, Babylon, and he's also on US West, slightly better ping for him this time around. So it's going to be one of these series where it's very essential to win your own map picks. Your own map picks are also your server advantage, so the players have kind of really weighted their own favorite maps the most. And if we get to Game 5, it's going to be Ancient Cistern. So it's so curious to see the way the choices in the maps have changed. This map was full Terran map at the start of the season, and now Terrans are actually not picking it. Zergs and Protosses are picking Babylon versus Terran. I think just due to some of these wide open areas, they're kind of enjoying engaging out there a little bit more as Zerg, and especially like the 4th and 5th base being separated. For Protoss, I'm not exactly sure what the reason is. Maybe it's just this very easy to defend natural ramp. Maybe that's part of why the Protoss players are really enjoying Babylon. But we'll see how it goes. Anyways, Marine first opening for Clem. All right, Probe's going to try and rotate in for the block. Notice just as Clem gets to 400 minerals, Creator comes in. He does start blocking that command center. And he's getting him up to quite high. And he spots the Marine. I'm pretty sure he saw that Marine as well, which is great. You know there's a Marine, not a Reaper. It means you can just go straight across the map to scout what's up with your Adept, put on some pressure. And we've also got, there we go, Factory on the way as well. Oh, interestingly, I can't hover over. You guys know I really love hovering over the exact seconds on the progress bar. That's the one thing I dislike about this overlay. It is quite pretty. A lot of people ask me why I don't like it, but yeah, you can't hover over the progress bars to see the exact seconds. It's this weird thing I like to do to like see like, okay, that started at 36 seconds ago. This started 25 seconds ago. It's so unnecessary, and yet for some reason I'm realizing it's such a big habit of how I cast games. Anyways, Marine with the reactor there doing what it can. Or Barracks with the reactor, I should say. Hellion to start. Clem's playing pretty blind, but this opening's so efficient. Your factory gets up so early. Starport's going to go down in a moment. Where is that starport? Delayed by a couple seconds there. But more SCVs coming in. Should be the orbital in a moment. Twilight Council on the way. And actually an early sentry. Oh, I do like the early sentry opening, guys. Gives you very early scouting. You can see exactly what the Terran player is doing. And it's a very secure way of playing the game. I know Special has been talking about how this is a really good way because basically Terran relies on surprising Protoss, and you can't surprise them if they open up with an early sentry. Special's been just telling everyone about this for the longest time. He's like, it's so good, they should do sentry every game. The Protoss players have said, look, you can't do it every game because it is much worse in certain situations. But we'll see how it works out. I do think Special's right that it's underused. I don't think it should be used every game, but definitely something that could be mixed in a bit more. Cyclone's on the way. Not the ideal unit against a Blink opening. Phoenix scouts. Thing is, he doesn't, unless he attacks that Phoenix, he doesn't know it's a hallucination. You can tell when he attacks it because it takes double damage. But as long as it avoids getting attacked, Creator can actually maybe trick him into thinking it's Stargate. And if he like builds a second Cyclone, for instance, that's very bad against Blink. You really want just Marines, Siege Tanks, Marauders. But second Barracks is on the way. Raven there as well. Stalker's starting to warp in at home. So far, it's looking like just a 2-gate Blink, but no Robo. I think Creator's anticipating some aggression here, and there is a Siege Tank on the way. Going to try and take a third base. The Hellion may have spotted the probe coming. Can definitely infer from the Stalkers moving down there that that is Creator's intent. So with this opening, skipping the Robo is so dangerous. You don't have detection. You don't have any way of scouting in the base other than the hallucination. On the other hand, hallucination, it's once every minute and a half or so. You can summon that, get in there. As long as there's not Armory Widow Mines, what do you really need the Observer for this early anyway? Raven coming in down here. It's going to go into the bottom of the base. That shield battery's a little far back, which it means it's hard for Bio that drops in to snipe it, but it also won't necessarily heal these units right on the edge of the gas. Just something to be wary of for Creator. Might have to pull those back. And he's going for the 4-gas Storm style. I do like this style, guys. 4 gases. Going to go for Psystorm, but look at that. Shield battery just going to defend that auto turret. Clem not finding any damage this time. Clem has got 2 siege tanks out. He's going to swap that third barrack, so a very safe play for him. You do not want to blink out there. Uh-oh. Oh, Clem's Cyclone. Okay, Cyclone does go down, but oh, the second tank volley gets 2 Stalkers, and those Marines can just get 1 shot on that. Yeah, that's big. 3 Stalkers for a Cyclone. As I said before, the Cyclone's not really a unit you have much use for in this game anyway. That is an amazing trade there for Clem. And definitely a little bit dicey for Creator. If you skip the Observer, you can't scout deep into their base to see what they're doing. And that did cost him. The Raven hanging out above these Moopies. They're having a bit of a party. This one's playing the bongos on a Space Marine helmet, as you can see. Definitely Return of the Jedi vibes, except for the weird Slaughterfest over here anyway. Third Nexus is up. Charge Storm is an amazing style. The question is, can Clem realize he's up against Charge Storm? Like, if this Raven's a problem, you want to feedback it with a High Templar, but that gives away that you're going Storm. So you really don't want to show that. Ideally, you show him Storm for the first time with a Warp Prism dropping High Templar, storming in the middle of the bio. Charge Zealots just YOLOing in and ripping him to shreds. Bio pulling back here. Stalker's trying to slow it down. He's got 3 High Templar right now. Wait a second. I was talking about a Warp Prism. There's no Robo in this game. He didn't even add a delayed Robo. This is just ground Templar. Okay, I'd love to see him bring a High Templar around the flank from the right or the far bottom. I definitely feel, because these High Templar are very slow, you want to try and bring them in from surprising angles if possible. Raven's going to join up with this army. These Stalkers are being a bit of a nuisance going after that Marauder. He blinks away as the Stim Bio does chase him off. Extra gateways coming in here, but Clem has not seen it. Just a couple Zealots coming in for a run by. Not a bad move. Those High Templar are very fearsome. Clem, I don't know if he's seen him just yet. I don't know if he's seen the High Templar, and he's so clumped. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. That might have been a good fight for Creator, because Charge wasn't finished. Even though the Bio was clumped, he wasn't able to capitalize. There is a High Templar in the main. It drops the Psystorm. Now Clem knows what he's up against 100%. A couple of auto turrets going to go down in this main base as well. But the Bio has to pick up and get out of there, as does the Raven. He takes out a few of these buildings. Cybercore going down, for instance, does cost him 2 more Cybercores building. That's a little bit questionable, guys. 2 Cybercores? Extra Archon on the way right now. I think one of those might be meaning to be a gateway. Bio pulling back. Zealots are building up on that side of the map. Dude, is Creator looking for a timing attack? It looks like he is. There's only, I was going to say only a few Widow Mines, but there's actually 8 Widow Mines. A lot of them are up in the natural. Widow Mines are very good against this sort of army, but Creator's going to try and deactivate them with the Stalkers. The thing is, there's no detection. So if he had an armory, that would hard counter Creator's whole style, but Clem does not have an armory, and so he's very vulnerable. Creator's gonna go for it. The Stalkers blink in, the Zealots go ham. Widowmine gets a big shot on the left of that. Storm does land, but he pulls back. I mean, Clem's microing nicely, but he is outnumbered so bad, especially on the right side. And if he chases into that High Templar down the ramp on the south, he's gonna get Psystormed. He's got to watch out for that. Creator being so patient on the Storm. Those Archons are starting to get gunned down. The High Templar really not storming. They took a long time, maybe too long on it. 13 SCVs have already gone down though, and this is such a clean build for Creator. Skip the robo, skip the detection all game, and he got away with it, and he used that advantage, that momentum, to really push his way through, deflects the attack, uses his abundance of Psystorms. He was gathering energy up for so long, and he rolls through Clem, tying up the series. Both players dominating on their map choice. All right, guys, we're back on a map that's going to be a bit better for the Terran player. This up here is Creator. I like the way he came back there. Now, Clem looked legitimately confused at the end of that last game. He opened the replay up and was in there for a couple minutes, and I believe it's because he did not realize that Creator skipped Robo completely. That's a very rare style, and it essentially gets checkmated by an armory. If Clem simply has an armory, he can just have 10 Widow Mines spread across his third and his natural, and there's nothing Protoss can do to push in there. And he can counter drop and absolutely destroy them, right? So Clem is definitely going to be really kind of switched on to this. Give me a second, guys. We're just going to... There we go. Just realized I had my something blocking my my view of the player cameras, and I always like to look at the 2 players' faces and kind of see where they're at. It's pretty early in the day for Clem, you know? It's only about, what is it, midday? Which is about the same as getting up at 5 in the morning for Clem. It's going to be tough for him to get woken up and everything. He's a bit of a night owl. Often stays up for those North American tournaments. Creator, though, prime time for him. He should be feeling nice and crisp. But playing against the top tier Terran like Clem, never an easy match. But yeah, I don't think he's going to take a crazy risk like that again with skipping the Robo. On the other hand, I do wonder if Clem really identified what the issue was. He's going to go for a bunker. I really feel this bunker has picked up popularity lately. And for instance, when the players do this versus Trigger, it actually feels to me like Trigger is always getting ahead versus it. I'm not sure how well Creator handles this just in terms of how calm he stays, and actually loses a probe on the other side of the map. Does delay the Reaper getting over there. Oh, good movement with that SCV. Obviously, it's a bit of RNG. Someone said if I hold down Shift, I can see the number. Thank you, Twitch chat. Twitch chat just taught me how to use the Pro 2020 interface, guys. I did not realize I could hold down Shift to see the numbers in the progress bar. Amazing. You guys are the best. Oh, the SCV gets out. That's actually pretty damn good, man. Reaper's going to come forward as well. Start chipping away. Stargate starts up. There's a Hellion on the way. Command center building on the high ground. Going to go for a starport in the near future. Pretty good opening for Clem so far, and he gets a probe, but he did have to cancel a bunker. It's not completely free. Stargate on the way. Now, I wonder, are we going to see straight Phoenix very defensive, or do we see Oracles? Oracles are amazing for defending Reaper Hellion pressure. They're really good for obviously catching off a player who doesn't have any anti-air at home. And there is even a third Reaper on the way. Tech Lab does go down on the factory. Reactor finally building on that barracks. A few drugs have been used by those Reapers. They've healed themselves up. That's why we know this game is a little bit of fantasy, guys. Bit of sci-fi. The drugs actually make you healthier in this game. A little bit different to real life. Here we go. He's going to dive on in. Ooh, okay. Does bounce the Reaper back. Oh, very nice. Actually gets that Adept down. Really well played by Clem. So already got 2 probes down, and it is a Phoenix tech that is both revealed. So scouting the tech is great, and he's got a Hellion in the natural. Gets 1 more probe there. Luckily for Creator, he has a shield battery. It only has limited energy, so obviously if the Hellion was left here for long enough, it could get through all of that energy. But I like the choice to just back off. 4 probes for 3 Reapers, well worth it when you take into account the fact that he got an Adept and he scouted that it's defensive Phoenix play. So he's going Cyclone into a second Cyclone, a Viking, and of course this Command Center will be floating down shortly. Now, with these openings, the Command Center is always very slowed down, right? That mining does not feel great here, even long distance mining for a little bit. On the other hand, Phoenix are not amazing in a frontal fight either. I would expect Creator to build a pylon and then take 2 gases here. He's actually going for a second and third gateway. Interesting. Creator, what exactly is he up to? He's going to hit a slight supply block on 54. But 3 gate before Robo. Is he thinking about just defending a big Cyclone Viking timing with Gateway Phoenix and then going for like charge? He might play charge Phoenix off a 3 base. Really, that'd be interesting. It's rare to not see the Robo these days, but this is more like how Showtime plays it. Showtime usually opens up with 1 or 2 Oracles first. Obviously, it's going to give him enough units to defend this pressure. But actually, the Nexus just started. The Gateways aren't done yet. On the other hand, this seems like a crazy thing to push into Phoenix play. If he's non-stop building Phoenix, which he has been, it means he's got 5 Phoenix. The Adepts and the Stalker's going to come forward. The Phoenix are just going to go right after that. He does kind of split his fire, does Creator, between the Cyclone, though, and the Viking. There we go. That's the problem, though. This was a massive overextension from Clem. I remember Clem used to have a lot of problems against this sort of play back on, 2000 Atmospheres, playing against Zest a few years ago. And I think he's feeling echoes of that right now. He just got absolutely slaughtered. He way overcommitted there, and Creator played safe. He'd scouted it. He made the right read. And just played exceptionally safe for the second and third gateway. I think seeing a third Nexus on the way kind of convinced Clem that Creator wouldn't be ready, but it was the exact opposite. Creator was 100% ready, and amazing trades for him. I don't know if there's any coming back from here. Clem is in the doo-doo right now, and honestly, it would really suck for Clem to go out early in this one. Remember, this is a best of 5, not a best of 3, but it is a single elimination bracket at this point, and you want to get to that best of 7 in the next round versus the winner of Trigger, Serral. It's such a big opportunity, but right now, Clem, he overcommitted to an attack, and overcommitting into Phoenix is so dangerous. It's such a risky play. SCV's looking for the wraparound. He's looking for the wraparound. He's trying to go for the you can't leave, but that's not enough SCVs for that. Stim is almost finished. He has to sack the SCVs. He has to sacrifice the SCVs or he's just going to lose. Oh, the Widowmine's getting picked up there. One of the Phoenix does go down. Widowmine trying to get forward. So many SCVs falling. I mean, there's only so much you can do here. Stim finally finishes. What can Clem do from this scenario? Even slow Zealot's going to cause him problems. Great Widowmine hit does land, but you've got a few Marines, a single Marauder. The Phoenix picking off those Marauders as they pop out. And just amazing play by Creator. He's taking a third bind. He's got charge on the way as well. And he's still picking off these Marauders. That red hit point Stalker. Look at it just twerking at those Marines saying, you will never get this, you will never get this. The Marines, unfortunately for the Stalker, do have stim packs. They do barely catch it, get the 2 shots off, take it down. Third base does start a few gateways as well. We've got 3 gateways going at 8. Robo's on the way. So it's Charge Phoenix with a Robo transition and 4 gases. That's a very good position to be against the 2-base Terran, who's got stim shields, +1 concussive, but no army. He's going to go for Widowmine drops and an armory, which makes perfect sense. How do you get back in a game of TvP? Well, number 1, Widowmine drops, number 2, armory, and hope he skipped detection like last game, which, to be fair, he did for a long time, but he will have that out reasonably soon. Probe sees him. Oh, Creator with the vision, man. Phoenix are on the way, and look at this, the pylon is going to say, okay, I know exactly where you are. No hiding from me, mate. He's going to try and drop the Widowmines and just sit there. But very well played by Creator, who can start an Observer and deal with that very easily. 14 Zealots on the map right now. Now, arguably, the comeback for Clem relies upon Zealots sucking. And I've spoken to people out there. I've played PvT. Zealots certainly suck in certain scenarios, right? If Clem can max out on Biomine Ghost, Zealots suck. So yeah, that's definitely where the comeback path comes. Forge, double Robo Colossus. This is actually like so weird, guys, because this is my favorite way of playing PvT. Phoenix Zealot into double Robo Colossus with super late upgrades. It's super gimmicky. It's really good because it's not too hard to control. But there's like a really scary point normally where they get a big ball of stim bio. Your first two Colossus aren't quite out. And especially if he like pulls the boys, all you have is Zealots, Phoenix, and Sentries. The problem for Clem is that he's so far behind. Even if he does that SCV pull shove, he's got barely more Marines than there are Phoenix. It's all reliant on his Widow Mines doing big damage. And the moment the Colossus get out, that ain't going to save your bacon. He sees the two Robos. He has to either pull the SCVs and go right now, or he needs to play just a slow multi-prong game. Creator's a very good player. You should never sleep on him. And definitely Clem already in a bit of hot water so far in this series. Hard to play against. And look at that. He split the Phoenix. Clem saw the Phoenix on the right side of the map, so he thought he was safe to go for the Widow Mine drop. Does try to drop the Widow Mines. One of them gets picked off. That Widow Mine ain't going to get burrowed. Neither is this one. The Phoenix shut down the Widow Mine drop, but it does allow his frontal army to get forward. Good force field. Nicely done by Creator. Does focus down one of those Widow Mines. The Marines and the Marauders sliding forward, but they're going to get trapped by the force fields. Oh, I mean, the Widow Mines get some big juicies on the Zealots, but there's a Colossus there as well. You cannot push across a bridge into Colossus tech. This is looking fantastic for Creator as he takes a fourth on the left side of the map. He's got so many Phoenix. He's gone third Colossus. I expect a Warp Prism to come out, but of course he's supply blocked right now, so Creator does need to build those. Clem has a third base. Clem has +2 attack on the way, which is actually really cool. He never made armor. He's just gone straight to +2 attack. He's ahead on upgrades. Oh, but look, this is what I'm talking about with the Marine count being so low. There's almost as many Phoenix as there are Marines. He could pick every single one up. He needs Widow Mines to help him deal with the Phoenix, let alone the Master Zealot and the Colossus. He's got to get out of here. He's a bit too deep in Protoss territory, and as much as the Widow Mines help, there's no escaping that Phoenix count. You have to be able to fight them, but he's got nothing that shoots up, and that's so costly. The Phoenix could pick up every single Marauder here. Looks like Observer Stalker cleaning up most of the Widow Mines. Surprised he didn't pick up more Marauders there. I think he could have trapped like 7 Marauders and then killed them all. Oh! Big boom booms on the Phoenix. Bit of a mistake there for Creator. But it doesn't matter, he's just too far ahead. It all comes back to the fact that he went second and third gate, he non-stop built Phoenix, he had his 4 gateway units, he was playing safe, and Clem over-committed into Phoenix, which is incredibly dangerous. Alright, Team Liquid's Clem is down. He needs to win this game and the next one, and that's a problem because we're on the US West server. This is Creator's map pick. Creator's in the bottom left side, he picked Royal Blood, it's his server advantage. So it's really a battle now. After Clem dropped that last one, that was his map, his server advantage, and now we're going into Royal Blood. Now, definitely a big overextension for Clem. He somehow just thought, you can't have that many Phoenix. Surely you won't be able to get on top of me. But you got to realize with Clem's opening, his push didn't make sense. Now, why did his push not make sense? Clem got tangled in his own build order. This is my theory, and I'd love to hear high-level Terran players' feedback if anyone's watching live in the chat. I've seen a few high-level players there. So basically, Clem opened with 3 Reapers before building a reactor. And the problem with that build is your reactor is insanely late, so you don't have a lot of Marines. If he had 10 Marines with his first push, or even 8 Marines, I think he definitely could have been focusing those Phoenix down, those Adepts down very quickly and standing and fighting. But whilst he had a very good Cyclone and Viking count, did Clem, already 1 Viking and then 2 Cyclones when he pushed, he didn't have enough Marines supporting it. And as a result, he just got absolutely jumped on and taken out. Now, Twitch chat's pointing out that, well, almost always people go Robo. You were expecting that, Pig. And if he goes Robo, there's a gap in the Phoenix production. Often 2 gaps. Whereas Creator, on the other hand, was non-stop Phoenix production with no gaps in the production, like extra chronos spent on it. Whereas most players are like, I'll build an Immortal, I'll build an Observer. And those units take a little longer to get out. So he was trying to hit the pre-Immortal timing. And obviously the non-stop Phoenix production, just a slight adjustment from Creator, seemed to catch him off guard. It's definitely something where maybe hitting a little later actually would have hit the sweet spot. against the Phoenix production, but because Creator had second and third gateway coming in, if he hit any later, Creator could have gone up to like 6 or 7 Stalkers, and that, of course, would have been a disaster because once he's warping in 3 Stalkers at a time, you don't really want to be fighting that with unupgraded Terran units. Even without Blink, the Stalkers are very good at just out-microing unupgraded Marines and the like. Anyways, pretty straight-up opening for Clem. He's gone for a Reaper. He's done an SCV scout. He's looking for proxies. On the other side, Creator's going to go Twilight, back to basics for him. Now, this map especially is very tricky with a Twilight build because you've got dead space there. You've got dead space here. You've got dead space here, and you've got dead space up here. What is dead space? Dead space is an area of the map where only flying units can go, and also where the air units can hide and not be reached. So a drop can wait here, and it can go in the main. It can go up there. It can hit your third base if you take the triangle. There's so many different drop zones, and you don't really have a way of dealing with it. So Widow Mine drops can be very pesky. Raven Harass can be very pesky, as can Bio zipping in and out between these many different attack angles. And that's one of the big advantages that Terran has here. Interestingly, Creator's going to counter that with a Robo first opening. It's a little far forward, and he's going to just get it scouted straight away, so that's kind of unfortunate. I say Robo first, not, well, it is Blink, sorry. It's not Robo first, but it's a very quick Robo before Blink starts. So this is the I'm going to have scouting version of the build where, okay, I've got the Robo fast enough to build an observer. I could also chrono a Warp Prism across the map if we want to do a 4-gate Blink, which is exactly what he's doing here. Clem's going to be very aware of that 4-gate Blink coming out very quickly as a big risk, just due to the Robo timing alone. So I think, I was going to say, I think he'll stop at 1 Widow Mine and go straight into Siege Tanks, but he's already building a 2nd Widow Mine, which is going to make defending that 4-gate Blink very tough. Clem, he's got that middle of the day light coming in on that young Baguetti face. Baguetti? I said Baguetti like spaghetti. That's amazing. But I feel like he's really got to just get more and more focused. He looks a bit more awake than he did at the start of the series. Clem's never made it to like the semis or the finals of a PiGFest. And a lot of the time, the kind of thing we say is, well, has he just adapted to the time zone? Some of the other players adjust their sleep schedules when needed. Doesn't feel like Clem does that. I think he's a bit more awake right now. He's got to play a very clean game, though. And sending 2 Widow Mines across the map is so dangerous. His first tank has just started. The Widow Mine drop does get spotted by the Stalkers. Creator seems to have noticed. All you need to do is keep some Stalkers at home to weaken the timing. You do not need to do any more than that. It's undefended. It's completely undefended right now, yet Clem is over-respecting it. Oh, Creator is playing so greedy. Creator's literally left nothing at home. He's like, screw it. I'm just going to kill you. And Clem, his pants are down right now. Oh, gosh. That tank needs to siege back here. If he sieges it there, it's going to die instantly. Pull it back, Clem. He's literally out of the tournament if he sieges it there. Oh, no. It's going to get taken out so quickly. Clem's tank is going to go down. He needed to siege that further back. A great snipe. Only 2 probes went down to the Widow Mines. Creator did spread his probes against the Widow Mine drop behind it. Clem is in huge trouble. But wait, the SCVs were pulled nicely. And he gets the rest of the Marines out of the bunkers at the front. He needs to get those Marines back in the bunkers on the natural and everything else on the high ground. But these tanks need to siege behind the wall. It's so essential. Where's the Widow Mine drop, guys? It's hiding down there. Single Widow Mine still alive. That tank needs to rally up here, further back. He's going to pull it way, way, way back. The Stalkers think about coming forward, but most important, just survive right now. Clem's got a Viking to try and damage the Prism, but it's unlikely it gets too much done there. Tech Lab's starting to go down, and a 3rd base starts. I love the way Creator's doing this. He's realized, I've got you in emergency survival mode. I don't need to kill you. Let's just get damage and expand and probe up behind it. I love that he switched his focus. He just got multiple add-on snipes. And it's just so well done. And this is why, against that early Robo, you do want to always make sure you stop at 1 Widow Mine and go straight for siege tanks. We've seen Clem play safe like that before, but today he does not seem to have his safety hat on, guys. Someone's got to hit up OH&S, Occupational Health and Safety. They got to get that high-vis vest to keep the Terran player alive here. The Viking barely survives, but so does the Observer. Finally, a couple of Stalkers have gone down. 3 Stalkers in this game for 21 Terran units. Of course, a few probes have died as well, but so far, I mean, Creator's handling is great. There we go! Clem showing a bit of that pizzazz. A little bit of that Terran pizzazz with the burrow micro, but unfortunately his drop's a bit too weak, so he's going to save it. Oh, he manages to save it, but it's, of course, 1 hit from death, so a single Stalker can dissuade that from coming back in. Now, this is not as bad as the previous game. Clem is up in workers. He took damage, but remember, it was a big commitment from the Protoss. Problem is, Protoss still has 15 Stalkers out. They're not as damaged as they often are after a 4-gate Blink. And it's still a while till stim and shields and the like are coming in. Reactor definitely needs to be going down so we can start medevac production. And he's going to go third command center into a fourth and fifth barracks. He's going to have to inch a tank forward here. And dude, don't tell me Creator gets a cancel on that third. That third is already about 25% complete. You do not want to have to cancel this. Good patient move forward by Clem. Doesn't throw any units away. Yeah, very nice wall-off placement by Clem. If he had a second tank out, or even if his first tank sieged a bit further back, this would be a very different game, but it just shows against something like a 4-gate blink, tiny details matter, and dude, Creator is so confident. Guys, Creator has clearly spent so long studying Clem and preparing these builds. There is no way he takes a fourth base and Psystorm right now against anyone else. But he's just like, dude, I'm feeling it. I know I'm in a good position. And oh my god, he's doing the trap drop. Okay, so for those who don't know the trap drop, it is literally a trap, and it was Trap as the first player who I saw do it. You drop 3 Zealots manually, and you save the High Templar. And what Terran does is they grab their SCVs and they click them on this gas. And when all the SCVs are stacked up there, that's when you drop the High Templar and you storm the stacked SCVs. It doesn't work every time, but the trap drop is one of the sickest things ever when it works. Auto turret harass comes in. He's getting some damage. Okay, well done there by Clem. He gets 4 kills. Unfortunately, doesn't focus fire there. 5 probes, not too bad. But yeah, definitely the trap drop is so scary. Like the first time I saw that one work, I was in giggles because even I, as the observer, didn't see the High Templar in the prism. And Protoss almost always have only Zealots or only High Templar in the Warp Prism. You might be like, well, surely they shouldn't because this is good, but it's actually just this thing, without even realizing it, Protoss players have conditioned Terran to think of that as a Zealot drop or a Storm drop. It's always one or the other, it's never both. And that's exactly why the trap drop can work. We'll see if he does it here. It's a big SCV transfer. Oh, no! Oh, man. Look at that. 2 Zealots in there. 2 Zealots in there. He's going to drop a Zealot and a Storm in the main as well. Clem's got a big push on the front, but he's in big trouble right now. The High Templar saving itself. He wants to wait for them to stack up. They're not doing it, so he just ends up taking the Mercy one there. Does go for a small stack. Raven coming forward. He gets shot down on the front. Storm is there. Clem with a nice spready on the front. Definitely feels the pressure to do damage. The Bio is going to get gunned down here. The Widow Mines will clean up those Zealots, but not without a lot of friendly fire. Lots of units going down. At the same time, 13 probes have gone down, so actually pretty damn big amount of probes falling here for Creator. Clem seems to be trading okay. The High Templar has been left alive. Clem the Merciful will be his name after this series, guys. That High Templar is killing SCVs. Finally, the Marauders do take it out. Oh, the Bio is very damaged. Oh, Clem's supply was looking so good. The Widow Mines! Oh my lord, the Widow Mines of Doom. Creator will be having nightmares about Widow Mines. Was that 2, 3 Widow Mines? He blinked forward. That Red Hit Point Terran army was too fragile to resist. No Protoss could avoid attacking into that. He came in with a Zealot flank from the left, army from the right, but the Widow Mines hit some of the biggest clumped up shots on those Stalkers and Robo units I've ever seen. They set off all the barriers, they obliterated the Stalkers, and they absolutely smashed through. He's still trying to harass on the other side. But that fast 4th base indeed did end up being a little too greedy. Keep in mind, this is a forgeless style. Creator is not playing normal PvT. He thought just getting all the splash damage mixed with crazy Zealot counterattacks would do it. He's trying to go Colossus and Storm and 4 bases, and Clem does punish him. Clem says, no, look, yes, you messed me up a little bit, but I handled it well enough. I wasn't that far behind that you could do all these things at once, even with the Forge skip going on, which was a clever little corner to cut. Widow Mine drop in the back of the main base. Good reaction by Creator, but another Widow Mine in the natural as well. And it looks like Clem will not be going out. 1, 2, 3. It looks like he's pretty much poised to get us to the Game 5 in this first series of PiGFest. And I'd expect nothing less. The winner of this series up against the winner of Trigger Serral later today in a best of 7. And what a way to wake up here for both players, really. It's been some knife fights in the dark, some very jagged series with some very fierce results. There's a small part of me that wonders, could Creator have leaned into the Stalkers more and killed him? I thought the way he played the follow-up was perfect initially, but the results speak for themselves, and it seems like Clem's push here just did a bit too much. The Colossus trying to deal with it. Remember, they don't have extended thermal lance. Widow Mine's burrowing in the mineral line. Man, you know when a Terran army walks into your base and burrows Widow Mines there, that it's a very frustrating thing to deal with. A 43 probe Protoss player. This is what we call It's not, I don't know if, is it the dregs? The dregs of a Protoss economy? Pretty much. I mean, it's maybe like that little bit of foam left over from the head in your beer around like the top of the glass when you've almost finished drinking it, but there's still a bit of head kind of just clinging to the side. That's Creator's economy right now, and I don't know if you're going to get too much flavor out of that. If building army in StarCraft was getting flavor out of a beer, right now he's trying to lick that little bit of foam inside the glass and seeing if he can salvage any nutrients from it. Clem just has such a unit advantage. Creator would need some magic to deal with this, and he stopped making High Templar. There's actually no ghosts out yet. They've just started popping out, but he hasn't been making High Templar. I would love him to have just 1 or 2 mixed in there, but I guess without a prism, he doesn't feel he can do it. Observer does see the army rotating. Clem's got a 4th on the way. He's adding a 2nd starport, 3 more barracks. He's got a 2nd engineering bay building +2 armor. I love that he lifted a barracks off or a factory off the reactor, let the starport build on that. And he's just playing very calm. He's like, yeah, no. I mean, I took a lot of SCV damage as well. I lost 15, but you lost 45. I'm just going to rebuild, keep you on 3 bases, and add the Vikings. I mean, EMPs deal with the Archon Zealot. Vikings deal with the Colossus. Created to get a Viking. Oh, good micro. Really good micro. Sets off a Widowmine, gets a Marine, and gets a Viking. Really well done. Oh, Observer does get taken out. Widowmine once again gets baited. Creator is so good at just hanging on. He's built a pretty awesome looking army. I don't really see him winning this fight, and yet it seems like there's not that many Marauders up front. I like Clem reacting the way he is. There's no reason for Clem to fight. He's like, hey, I do have 4 bases. Shit, clearly I'm outproducing. Like, surely there's no reason for me to fight right now. And when he chases you, he clumps up. Maybe you can ambush with some EMPs here, and that'd be good. Creator is like, one last ditch effort, let's go. There's no way I'm catching up with the economy, but I've got a big army. Maybe I can get the right fight. Maybe I can do this. 1 Stalker does go down. Does pick off maybe a Marauder or a Marine or something there. The 4th base is established with the Planetary. As long as Clem stays spread, he's looking pretty good. He's got 9 Vikings, Marauder, Ghost, very good versus Stalkers. High Templar have been warped in, but they're just for Archons. And I think Creator's going to have to spread his units out a little here, trying to avoid those EMPs, trying to negate them just a little bit. Seeing a Planetary on the left, he feels his heart sink. He knows he's got to go sooner rather than later. The way Clem micros back in a ball, to me, looks very dangerous, but this man knows his business. His Vikings are not able to get in range of the Colossus. Creator's trying to bait him into a bad fight by moving it on the right side. The bio is out of stim for a moment, but the Ghosts get a big EMP. The Zealots have no shields left. The bio coming forward. 1 Colossus has fallen, and here we go. Great micro by Creator. He's trying to bait the stims out of Clem, and he's baiting a 3rd stim in a row out of Clem. Creator's actually really demanding respect, and you can tell Clem's nervous just from the way he's controlling this fight. At the start of it, I mean, obviously he looked a little bit more like, you could tell he's nervous. I looked at his face, I'm like, yeah, he literally looked like he was half asleep. He's like, just leave, man. I'll take it back. All right, game 5. We've got Clem in the bottom left side of the map. He's doing a 2 barracks Reaper build. Okie doke. Very safe build when you think about it, so I don't mind it. And it's Ancient Sister. Neither player wanted to play this giant map. They all said, well, I'm not going to veto it. The vetoes, of course, were Altitude and Neo-Humanity. Creator took out Altitude, didn't want the big wide open areas. And Clem didn't want Neo-Humanity. Just, I'm imagining because of the purple gas and just some of the weird terrain on that map, some of the choke points maybe causing him trouble as well. Nice blocking so far. Does delay the command center quite a bit. Wait. I was like, wait, how's he got money for a command center? He skipped an orbital. He skipped the orbital to fake him. Oh, he's actually skipping SCV production though, which is suboptimal. You should still be building SCVs, Clem. Oh no, Clem, right? I think if you're gonna do this, I mean, he should get enough damage that it could be worth it. So now, if the first Adept goes across the map, for instance, he's gonna surprise him with like 3 or 4 Reapers. And remember, 3 Reapers is enough to 2-shot probes. So the whole thing here is a barracks costs 150 minerals, so there's 150 minerals missing. So it should be obvious the command center is late, but because he skips the orbital, which also costs 150 minerals, he actually is able to trick him, and then he goes 3 racks behind it, so it's going to be a 3 Reaper, 4th Reaper on the way. Does he build a 5th? It's a 5 Reaper opening. Ooh, and he's going to look to catch the Adept. I mean, that's good. Killing the Adept is good. There's part of me that just wants to see him run in a worker line and kill 6 probes, you know? But I think that's more of what happens in Platinum League, not at Clem's level. He's going to lose the Reaper. Well done by Creator. Creator knew he was going to go down, but by tagging the Adept Shade onto the Reaper, he at least gets a kill. Now, there's only one Stalker, and another Stalker only just started, so wisely building a shield battery is Creator. He's going to try and fight with this Stalker, and the Reaper's going straight after it. Oh, Clem playing a brave game of StarCraft right now. Very ballsy. Gets himself a probe. There's a Reddit point probe there as well. That Stalker's damaged. He hasn't let the shields regen. The Reddit point... Oh, look at the probe. The Reaper micro. Oh my god, and that Reaper's just going to stutter step after it. The probe comes out. It goes down. The Reaper gets the Stalker. 3 Reddit point Reapers going absolutely ham, but he stays a bit too long, and he does lose a Reaper. But you know what? 2 Reapers going down for 3 probes and Adept to Stalker mining time. Very stylistic opening, and Creator really caught him off guard with weird, tricky openings earlier today. And now it is Clem's chance to fight back. Now, if you guys are seeing a little bit of stuttering, don't worry, I am as well. I believe that's just the BattleNet server playing up a little bit. Hopefully the players don't feel it at all, as we aren't dropping frames or anything like that. Reaper's going ham right now. They do take out 3 more probes? Dude, that is crazy damage. And he's got 3 ranks coming up behind it, which normally is not the best on this map, but that is an insane amount of damage for this early in the game. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, he delayed his orbital. He has had a bit less money coming in, a little lower on workers than normal, but he's severely hurt the Protoss income, as well as killing the units that are out so far. Blink and Robo is on the way for Protoss, and there's a missile turret for Clem. Clem, I think, is just kind of going, well, what could I lose to? And I think that's him basically taking some safety precautions and saying, let's just be very, very careful. Looks like we've lost Clem's camera there, guys. So we're just going to remove those cameras for now. Probably clicking so fast with those Reapers that it did disappear. Blink's on the way. Robo Bay as well. It's going to be a very safe 2-base kind of Blink Colossus style coming out here for Creator. Does he shove? Because if he wants to shove, he could go right now. Blink is almost done, and with no 3rd base, though, I don't think there's an easy target. The Natural's a bit too hard to push into. Hallucination will come in. That's going to be the first real scout here for Creator of what's going on. And he will see. Okay. Oh, it's 3 racks. Okie doke. And he's going to realize this is especially happy that he did not build a 3rd very early. He's going to try and start it now. It's still going to be very hard to defend against this absolute swarm of Bio. You can see a pretty sizable army supply advantage. Stim and Shields is done. No concussive just yet. Medevacs should be starting in a moment. You can see the factory and the starport are about to swap over. Up to 4 gas now. And he's going to try and catch these Stalkers if he can. But you want to catch him when he's not looking. You can get a few hits off on Creator Stalkers. It can go very well. And oh, he's doing the sneaky Marine run by. The only problem for Clem is he doesn't know that 3rd's not done yet. Stalker comes in from the left. Now, is he going to sandwich the Stalkers with these Marines, or does he go for the mineral line? I think he's probably going to look for the Sanger on the Stalkers. Marauder does pull back. Marine gets picked off. Great micro by Creator so far, guys. He's really doing very well. And unfortunately, these Marines, they're not going to find much. They find a probe. They're going to go for the natural now, but that's not going to find anything. Immortal and Sentries, easy take care of him. Oh, great defense by Creator. Yeah, Creator's all over it. This was a bad start for him. Really good start for Clem. And look at that. The Marines can't find anything. They have to take even more stims just to get that one Stalker. The rest of the army's here. But Battery, Guardian Shield, and Colossus, there's no way. He's got to get out. The units lost have it in favor of Creator. He's secured a 3rd. The defensive wall, man. Korean Showtime. They got to start calling this guy Hangul Demour because he's just an absolute beast. He's so good at defending, and Clem's going to have to be very careful. I think careful, cautious, longer game, Clem might have an advantage. I'm not quite sure. Even though that's Creator's wheelhouse, I think exerting pressure without overextending might be what he needs to do in this series. There's not much energy yet left. Oh, crazy move! Crazy! Oh my lord, Clem, you crazy baguette-wielding Frenchman. He just dove into a fight that is absolute insanity. I said, maybe you got to be a bit careful. The man literally just picks up a baguette, charges into the police station, and starts whacking the police officers armed with guns over their head with a very stiff, very stale baguette. At the end of the day, it doesn't work out. Yes, he got a Colossus and a battery, but that's not worth how many units he's thrown away there. This is not the best play from Clem. These fights are not that great. Luckily, the Widow Mines will take out a sentry, damage those robo units a fair bit, but I really think Creator is holding his own so well, and definitely Clem just getting a bit too excited. He's going to have to just contain himself because now he is far behind in the army. Like, if your opponent's gone a Colossus style like this, they're even in army supply, and they're up 14 workers. Like, that is a good advantage for the Protoss. Yeah, he's behind in upgrades. You've got 1-1 about to finish. His 1-1's just started. But there's no armory started. So your upgrades are going to hit a wall at 1-1, right? Whereas the Protoss upgrades will continue. There's no Ghost Academy. There's just Vikings building. The lack of a Ghost Academy tells me that Clem, it could be a money issue where he feels he can't afford it yet, but it could also be, well, I'm just going to kill you with Bio Viking, right? Like, I'm kind of stuck. Let's just go attack into attack into attack. And you got to remember, as cool as the 3-Rex follow-up is to this opening, and as successful as the opening was, 3-Rex is never going to be the killer move on a giant map like Cistern. It could be on a smaller one, and Clem needs to remember to play this map accordingly. You can't just play it like it's Babylon or Royal Blood. Marine, gonna block that. That's a good Marine. Denies the base, gets a probe, so he's already paid for himself by killing the probe, but denies the base for a long time. Creator's a little down on army supply, but he's got 3 Colossus, a 2nd Immortal. Templar Archives coming in. Now, that's one thing you could argue, like, okay. Oh, actually, where are the... He did build a Ghost Academy, didn't he? It's finished. Starts an armory and a 2nd engineering, but he's just so poor he can't afford ghosts just yet. Like, he'll queue them up on the next round, most likely. But without ghosts, Archons are very scary. And already the first couple of Archons coming in. I like that he's doing a bit of split dropping his Clem. In this scenario, you want to hit and run. You do not want to stand and fight. And that's a very good move. Gets a Nexus. Gets a probe and a pylon. He's got to run, though. The Stalker's behind him. They could flank his position from the left. On the other hand, he's ready to dive the right, and Creator is simply pulling into a defensive stance, not looking to hunt down any units just yet. Clem's got to be careful. With no EMP, Archon Zealot is very scary. These sort of fights are good for him, as long as he never gets jumped on and hunted down. But it's when he gets jumped on and hunted down, that's where things can turn very south for him. And he kills a few units, but he's got to get out. And you can see nice feedback. Stalkers blink forward, shoot down the medevac. Wow, Clem, very clutch turnaround there. Does get rid of that Stalker. Clem is ahead in supply, but not by much. Upgrades are now even. The Vikings here, not a good place to take a fight for Clem. He just wants to pick off the Zealots, run away. Like, he's trying to use his micro to pick off units for free, but Creator's Stalker micro is kind of matching him. The lack of a battery there, no overcharge, is part of why it's a little hard for Creator to dance in and out. Now the Ghosts are here as well. I mean, Clem dancing on the edge of a very dangerous situation, but they do say his aggression is his superpower, and he's got a 4th Command Center coming up at a similar timing to the 4th Nexus. He does manage to start +2 attack as well. I'd love to see a little bit more harassment from Clem mixed in just to make this life very difficult for Creator. Widowmine does get cleaned up by the Cannon and the Archon. Stalker's still looking for Viking snipes. They get it very low, don't quite take it out. He was like, hey, there must be an observer if he's brave enough to run forward like that. But there are no observers, 1 observer on the entire map right now. Part of why Creator is so reliant on cannons. And actually, he only has a cannon on his 3rd. He doesn't have any on the top side of the map, so Widowmine drops would cause him so many problems right now. Great snipe on that Viking there. Feel like Creator Stalkers have definitely paid for themselves, but when they do get tagged, they do get taken out, and they're very expensive losses. Widowmine drop going into the main. Did Creator spot it? I don't see any sign of him reacting, guys. There's no cannon in the main, no Stalker whoopings up there. Observer does see the Terran army. Let's see, where are those Terran eyeballs at? Are we beyond levels of spotting every observer? Nope, doesn't look like it. EMP plus tags a few Stalkers. Widowmine drop comes in at the same time. Creator is not watching. Uh-oh. Oh, good reaction by Creator. Only loses 2 probes. Natural's wide open. He doesn't go for the main because the main doesn't have that many workers in it this late in the game. Funnily enough, the Natural's actually mining out pretty fast as well. So he's going to force a cannon there. Just pull a probe over to that side is Creator. And actually, Clem is max. Clem's ready to go. Clem's going to get forward. The Colossus already going down. And if he loses his Colossus, he loses his ranged firepower. Another Colossus getting dangerously low, but the Vikings are very damaged. You're going to be careful about taking those Archon shots. That Colossus goes down. The Vikings doing amazing damage here for Clem. The Archons and the Zealots and the Stalkers are not great units. If those Colossus are gone, the Widowmine Bio Ghost, the EMPs are going to be deadly. Widowmine gets another shot off, only 2 probes before going down. That Widowmine looks like it did go down as well. These Widowmines have not been cleared. There we go. Stalker Observer comes forward. Creator does not want to go down without a fight, but it does feel like he doesn't have much progression. Even though he's got his 4th up, there's no gas there. He's only on 68 probes. He's going to try to get out to a 5th base. He's got a big army. But is that going to be enough? Now, Clem is building 4 SCVs at a time, and that is very worrying if you're a Clem fan, because that's really good if the game goes for another 20 minutes of non-stop trading. But as it is, you're already up in workers, and I feel like Creator is thinking about doing some sort of big push at some point. You don't want to get caught out without a large enough army. As I say that, it does look like Creator's stalling out in the middle of the map and deciding, Actually, I'll take a 5th. I'll take a 2nd Robo. I'll go for 3-3 upgrades. So Creator maybe not planning that attack that I thought. Looks like he will try to limp his way into the Disruptor game. He's not getting there the fastest, though. And with Fusion Core on the way, 2 starports pumping out libs is going to be absolutely astoundingly powerful. Range libs, one of the most powerful late game units in this matchup. And unless Protoss has some carriers or something like that, Stalker's only answer to them is mobility. Storm can help, Archons can help if you catch those libs on siege, but normally it's all about catching the libs kind of facing the wrong direction or just unsieged completely and out of position. Army trying to move north. Clem's coming up here. Clem is down in army supply right now. He does lose 4 SCVs to probably a couple of Zealots running in, and the Widowmine's friendly firing, I imagine. Bio Ghost coming forward. 5th base gets denied. That's good for Clem. He's got 3-3 on the way. Creator's waiting for those 3-3 upgrades to come in. His +3 is getting very close. He throws a probing disruptor shot out. It's air. Warp Prism does get shot down. Not great for him. Another 2 Zealots come in. Widowmines will find some damage there. This army on the front, though, that's what matters. Colossus does take some damage. The Viking count's getting smaller, though. These battery overcharges being microed very well. Another 5 SCVs did go down to those 2 Zealots. Advanced ballistics and +2 ship weapons. Those are the upgrades you got to keep your eyes on. A contained Protoss player like this does not have a lot of income coming in, whereas Terran is up on 5 bases. Terran is up a base. Going to catch up on those upgrades in the near future. And once you have +2 Liberators, guess what? They do 85 damage a shot. Stalker only has 80 life. You EMP the shields off it. The Liberator one-shots it. And suddenly you've got a 3-supply Liberator one-shotting a 2-supply unit. It's not a fair fight. Bio Ghost caught out! Oh! Clem gets caught in a bad position there, but the EMPs! Staggering EMPs on that army, forcing a Creator retreat. Both sides were very clumped up there, but shaving some important Terran units off. Ahead, 1,000 resources in the units lost is Clem. Being up a base and ahead in the resources lost, it looks very promising for the Frenchman. And I do feel like ultra late game on even terms, Creator's probably going to be better than Clem, more practiced. But in this sort of game, where there is a tempo advantage for Clem, you can see he's so good at using it. The way his army's rotating around different areas, denying bases. And he's so good at just chipping away at the Zealots and the Archons and pulling away and not eating the Disruptor shots, not eating the big Colossus volleys. Snipes even going down in the Zealots. Oh, he's looking very excited to engage. There's a lot of units on the north. Disruptor shot gets dodged on the south. Protoss is really trying to force the fight now. He's trying to pull back around the terrain. The Disruptors are not very good around the cliff, but more Disruptors marching forward here. They're trying to throw their shots from very far, but great pulling back for Clem, who now finds himself 3,000 resources ahead in units lost. It shows he just widened the gap by another 2,000 resources. He's instantly remaxed. Creator is not. Creator has a lot of Stalkers in the mix, and those Stalkers are brittle units. 5 Liberators building right now. There is a 3rd starport up on the natural, so he could technically build 6. He's also remembering to replace Medivacs, though, as obviously if you get caught without Medivacs, that's very bad. Oh, Juicy Ball does get 5 units, including 2 Ghosts and a Marauder. It's only a small army over here right now. Clem is up on a very nice base count. He's also got more command centers he can turn into orbitals. Notice he pulled his Vikings away. This is one of my favorite moves that Clem does in late game. He always pulls his Vikings back after killing Colossus. He'll usually land them to defend the base that's getting the most Zealot run-bys, repair them up, and then when he sees the Protoss rebuilding the Colossus, because they're seeing the Terran army, oh, the Vikings aren't in it. I must have killed all the Vikings. You rebuild 3 or 4 Colossus, you think suddenly they're a really good unit again, and then guess what? Oh, he just brings 12 Vikings that he was leaving back at his 3rd base into the fight, and you're like, oh, really? Oh, he's going to dive on the libs. Bio coming from the left. Archon and then Disruptor do get shot down. The Widowmines are there, blinking into EMP Widowmine. Creator knows all about those Widowmines, and he says, no, 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 none of it, none of it. Get out, get out, get out. He does wisely pull back. New 5th base is up for Creator. He's trying to take a 6th in the north. But an inability to seriously control space or even do much to Clem is there. And Storm! I love Storm in late game. I feel like it's a bonus thing that adds a little bit of zoning control. It's going to be very hard to really get much value when Clem is outnumbering you this hard already. Oh, the range lib ambush. He actually unsieges while still on top of like half the army. Clem wants to make sure there is no retreat. The Bio Ghost forcing the Protoss to attack into it to try and avoid the lib zones. But man, those Liberators slaughter the Vikings land. The libs sieging every which way. Clem doesn't even know which way to focus them. He's literally just spraying lib zones with rapid fire almost randomly. But I think it's a good enough fight. Any fight's a good fight here for Clem. The young Frenchman, the Baguette Lord himself, playing some very good StarCraft right now. And I am so, so impressed, guys. This is really, really cool to see. Clem fighting back after a very rough start. I'm kind of upset, though, for Creator, because he just had such good builds at the start of the series. The Blink and the Psystorm, the friggin' I'm going to skip the Observers. I mean, he had some amazing pushes, some great styles. The non-stop Phoenix production to shut down the Cyclone Viking push that Clem loves to do. Really, really, really well done. Creator's in such a bad spot. He's just been desperate to find engagements that he can maybe win. And so that last fight, he kind of felt, I kind of have to fight, because if I give up this ground, I lose my economy. He's kind of getting cornered into, you can look at these fights individually and say, why are you making bad fight decisions? But it's a cumulative effect of Clem's just denied so many expansions and pressured him so much. Creator's like, I can't just keep running. At some point, I have to stand and fight. But it often turns into just kind of standing to lose the fight more than anything else. He's still got Disruptors. He's got a Storm Drop on the right. Clem was witness to some of the most brutal Psystorm drops the other day on this map. He got his army obliterated by it, but I think because of that, Clem's even more on his toes against it. And even though it was a good storm, Creator is looking very poor. Clem is looking incredibly rich. +3 ship weapons is on the way as well. And I'm telling you, I think Clem, he started this series, his baguette may have been a little bit soggy, a little bit too fresh, you know, a bit too soft. But as time has gone on, I feel he's left that bad boy out. It's gotten stale. And if you've never been hit in the head with a crisp, kind of stale baguette, you know, that thing gets rock hard, man. That crust gets very firm. It can cause a concussion. I'm pretty sure you could murder someone with a baguette if you leave it out for long enough. Marine Marauder Medevac in the north. Storm goes down. Good battery overcharge, but it only lasts for so long. And, oh, Storm landing on the bio there. Ooh, okie dokie. Okay, the Storm does do pretty well. Stalkers try to come behind the Liberators. Secret Stalkers from behind take out 2 Liberators. Army on the south doing what it can as well. The Viking Bio Ghost move to the left side here. They're going to try and come in and deal with these units. Ooh, okie dokie. All right, very nicely done there by Creator to get anything approximating a good fight. And he really has done so well in these engagements, guys. So well. Dude, but the moment you stand and fight into those +3 Liberators, you get to see the power of the Liberator. For those who don't know, the Liberators bring freedom to the oppressed Protoss people by shooting them in the face with their gigantic +3 Concorde cannon. It looked like the supply was quite good for a moment there. I really thought Creator might be able to push through. That was an incredible series of engagements. At the end of the day, Clem just had way too much money.